Hi, welcome back to my channel, Organize with Joy, and welcome if you are new here. And today is Thoughtful Thursday, and I just have to give a disclaimer. We are in the middle of an epic snowstorm here in Austin. So we have been without water for 3 days, or we're going on our 3rd day now, and we have rolling blackouts. So I'm hoping that I can get this video filmed and edited and up by Thursday, but I look like this because it's cold and I'm not wearing makeup because we don't have water, so I don't want to have to wash off any makeup because of this storm. But interestingly enough, last week we had an ice storm, and it didn't really affect us all that much. We still hadn't lost our water or power, but last week when I was seeing all of the trees sagging and so heavy with the ice that had accumulated on them, I started thinking about heavy burdens in our life. And I knew that I wanted to talk about that this week, but I didn't know that fast forward a week later, I would have no water and be just trying to survive this storm. But yeah, so today I did want to talk about heavy burdens in our lives. And one thing I wanted to say about it is everybody has different heavy burdens. And you might look at someone and think, that's not a heavy burden, like I've gone through that before, or look at my heavy burden. But everyone is carrying a heavy burden, and it's heavy to them, even if it might not be heavy to you. Or you might look at someone and think, wow, I could never carry that burden. Like, that looks so tough to be in that life stage or in that circumstance or going through that thing. But we all have heavy burdens, and so we can all relate in a sense or have empathy in a sense to one another. Even if the burden looks heavier or lighter than your burden, you can have empathy knowing that everyone is going through something tough. I am the type of person that really gives people the benefit of the doubt, and I try to just be kind even if people are seemingly being a jerk or not being kind in return. I'm the type of person that when somebody cuts me off in traffic, I think to myself, well, they're probably in a hurry to get someplace, or there's probably an emergency that they're trying to attend to. I don't automatically just think that this person is just a jerk. So I think, with that in mind, I just look at people in that light, knowing that everyone is walking around with some sort of heavy burden that they are carrying day in and day out. And oftentimes we don't know what that heavy burden is. It's not necessarily something that we can physically see with them. And typically heavy burdens are not something someone just talks about and shares. It's typically something that is really difficult and private that they're going through, and so they don't necessarily want to share it with the world or talk about it, but they are carrying it nevertheless. And so just a reminder that we just need to be gracious and patient with people because they're likely going through something difficult. So the other day when I left my home and I was driving down the street and saw all these trees, and they were just weighed down with this ice, I was just thinking about physically what heavy burdens make us feel like. And I was just looking at these trees and seeing how they were physically weighed down. And oftentimes when we carry heavy burdens, we have physical ramifications. We are tired, we are emotionally exhausted, and we might have sleep problems or, just a number of things going on physically with us when we are carrying a heavy burden. And the other thing I noticed when I was driving through the neighborhood, there were some of my neighbors who were cutting off limbs so that they wouldn't break. And I was just thinking about what a beautiful picture that is of having community around you to help you with your heavy burdens. And I loved seeing that picture of them cutting off those really low-hanging branches so that the branch wouldn't break. And by the same token, I saw limbs that were broken off, and some really, really big limbs. And it just got me to thinking about how sometimes when we are carrying heavy burdens, we can get to the point where we break because the weight is just too much and we can't handle the weight anymore. So today, I just wanted to encourage you, if you are carrying a heavy burden, find things you can do to relieve the stress off of you, whether that's having a group of friends who you can turn to and talk to and process through the hard things that you're going through. Or maybe it's seeking professional help, maybe going to a counselor or a therapist to process through and talk through those things. Or just having self-care set up. Exercise or eat healthy, drink plenty of water, get good sleep. All of these things will help your body deal with the stress of a heavy burden. In addition to that, you could meditate or pray. This really resets your mindset and helps you to not be so, to not grow so weary when you are just in the midst of something that is really challenging. But today, I just wanted to challenge you to look at people through the lens of they are probably going through something difficult, and have grace and compassion on people because oftentimes they are going through something difficult. Well, I hope this video was somehow encouraging or inspiring to you today. I would really appreciate it if you're new to my channel to consider subscribing, and send all of your thoughts and prayers our way as we are really struggling through this really horrible storm with no water and rolling blackouts. And actually my son is in his university apartment and he has not had any power for the last 3 days. He was able to go to a friend's apartment and charge all of his devices, so that was good. But we are just weathering this storm and hoping we can make it out on the other side. But thank you so much for watching this video today. I would love, as always, to hear from you down in the comments. You don't necessarily have to share what your heavy burden is, but if you want to, I would love to hear that, hear how I can be praying for you. And if you don't want to share your heavy burden, just tell me something about heavy burdens that you've experienced. Let me know how heavy burdens have affected you in the past. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.